Welcome to the last day of this year's Dame Dynamics. My name is Pernille Lalau and I'm your Master of Ceremony. In this daily program we are looking at the 53 nominees, 15 special mentions and 6 winners in the 30th anniversary of the prestigious design award Metstrade. Our focus today will also be on design itself, what the word means and why the Dame promotes best design practice for the world's equipment manufacturers. And to help us with that question that I was just posing to you, I'm joined today by the Dame jury member Arjen Jansen, senior lecturer at the School for Industrial Design Engineering at TU Delft. Just before we introduce our guests today, Arjen, please tell me what is exactly your work at TU Delft?
Well, I try to teach students to do design.
I like the way that you put it. You try.
Yeah, well, the thing is that these students, I mean, they are so intelligent. That's one of the great things of working at Delft University. You have intelligent people to work with, and you have amazing colleagues to work with. So I mainly teach design, not only in products, but also in product service combinations. And what we try the students to do is to hit the sweet spot in between business, human and technology. Yeah. So they can make products not only viable, but also feasible and desirable, which is actually the thing we like.
That sounds really good. Talking about that and them being so intelligent, what way would you say that, well, research and development teams should be focused on right now if you think about important principles of great product design?
That's hard to explain just, I mean, our study takes 5 years, but I think that the main thing would be is to always ask the question behind the question. If we have companies coming to Delft University, they think they have a question, but in general they have a solution. And what we try to do is try to think what this makes a good solution and how we could improve it. Yeah. So always ask a question behind the question. Yeah. And then maybe the second thing is a look at the user perspective. So always design user-centric, and maybe look at the life cycle perspective. And I'm not talking in sustainability terms, that's also very important, but look at how things are transported. I mean, we all know the big Swedish company with the yellow and blue, which is amazing in transport, and that's what they make a good living out of, not just selling products, but being very smart at transport. So not just making the product for the user, looking how it is transported in a good way, looking how it's manufactured, what's done at end of life. So that's what I would. Also,
of course, as you were also mentioning, you need to know the customer's demands. Yes. So you really need to go out in the field, also, I would say.
Yeah. One of the things we regularly do in the design labs is that we include the users into our designs. That really helps us in understanding you much better, the user much better, and be able to sort of make short cycles of designing and testing and designing and testing. Yeah. So that's what we do.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, famous university.
Thank you very much.
We're always very proud in the Netherlands of TU Delft. In the matter of the jury, because you're a member of the jury, of course, in which way does the jury look at design for the Dame?
Well, one of the things which make life easy for me is they more or less take the same approach that we do at Delft University of Technology. So we just don't just look at innovation, because there's a difference between design and innovation. And one of the things is that many people that hesitate to enter a product for the Dame Award is that they think it's about innovation, but it's wider. It's not about the newest things, it could also be incremental improvements. So that's what we really like to see. And then we look, of course, at aesthetics, but also transport, or about the material you use, and of course, sustainability. And to tell a little bit more about this incremental improvement, one of the first products I was looking at the Dame Award jury was this spin-lock Lumon. And it was I'll explain, it's a great small example.
Like a great title.
It's a great title.
Yeah, tell us a bit more,
It was a light. And every life jacket needs to have a light, but and lights are not new, and life jackets are not new. But what they did is they stick it on the back of the bladder, which inflates when you hit the water, and because then a light started to work, the entire bladder became a huge light.
Wow, so which was much bigger.
Yeah, was bigger. So yes, lights are not new. Bladders and life jackets are not new, but this combination is a brilliant example of small incremental improvements, which we really liked as a jury.
And when you hear this idea, you think this is actually a kind of a given, but it's never been produced and thought of before.
No. Yeah. And that's what you see with the most amazing products, that people say, yeah, of course. But to get there,
I think the best compliment for a product is if you get a yes, of course.
Yeah.
But it's never been made.
That's right.
Right? Okay. Well, let's meet our two Dame category winners in the studio with us today. Firstly, Fetchko from Dometic, who took up top honors in the interior equipment, furnishing, materials and electrical fittings used in cabins category. And Kris Nieuwenhuis from ACR Electronics, and the winner of the life-saving and safety equipment category. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you here, gentlemen. So let's take a look right away at some of the key features of Dometic's Voyager TX air conditioning system.
Hi, I'm here at Dometic today to talk about the new TX variable capacity air conditioning system. This system has been added to the Turbo product line as the best option we now have available. It provides variable capacity cooling and cooling on demand. The advantage of this unit is as you walk onto your boat and you turn it on, it will quickly ramp up to full speed. It does that with zero inrush current, which helps you in situations to size down your generator. As the temperature begins to cool in the room, the unit will actually slow down so that when you reach your temperature, it maintains it. That gives several additional advantages over a traditional air conditioning system. Traditional air conditioning systems are either off or on. With this, you're able to maintain that temperature exactly where you want it.
Voice of customer. That's our product managers.
Of course, during videos and everything, we're still talking because it's also interesting, especially, of course, for you both as winners, looking at each other's products and diving into them. But Eric, it's really interesting to see so much technology in this air conditioning system. Could you tell us a bit more about what factors are driving your design efforts on equipment like the Voyager?
Simple. 3 things. Higher customer expectations, sustainability, and electrification. Those are the 3 things.
Yeah.
And when I talk about expectations, I've been around this industry 35 years. 35 years ago, a boater would live with a lot less technology on his boat. It wouldn't have to work that great. Now the expectation is everyone wants their boat to be like their Mercedes or their BMW. So there's that expectation. So that means it's got to be quiet. It's got to be low current draw, and it's got to be sustainable. And sustainability is quite it's not just a corporate thing to stay in the news. Our young engineers will pay more money for products that they think are sustainable, and it's really exciting to see. So in this particular case, we went to titanium coils so that we could actually run higher pressure through, keep them clean. We went through, as he pointed out, the variable speed so that we can, instead of on off, which is really hard on a mechanical device, it just goes up and down very efficiently. And then the other aspect of it is electrification. We're ready for electric boats.
Yeah.
And right now, with the fact that they're going, less gensets are going to lithium-ion battery packs, and there's a whole other technology there. But things like inrush currents and we've managed very carefully. So we even have high voltage on there for if we do have a pure electric boat in the future. So
yeah.
I think it was pretty forward thinking of my team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smiling because you're actually explaining it in such a calm way. But I think, man, what has all happened in your company to design and change all the research and development and knowing the customer well and being able to really produce and present another profit.
It's in our DNA, innovation, and if you're not innovative when the market is changing, the market has changed so much in the last 3 years. It's more in the last 3 years than I've seen in 35 years.
Wow.
From a technology point of view. So if you're not innovating, you're falling behind very quickly.
Yeah. Arjen, could you tell us what was it about the Voyager TX, besides the things that we heard, of course, that the jury made their heart ticks?
Well, actually, you summarized it quite well. One of the things that made our hearts tick is that in general, only stuff that's visible for the end consumer is well designed. And things like air conditioners are tucked away behind panels, and why not sort of make them look good as well? And by looking good, I just don't mean it's well designed, because I think your product is well designed, but also make it good for replacement. So the form factor makes it easy to replace with older products. And one of the things I personally like most is that you did user-centric design. What you did is you looked at the user, because what happens if you fall asleep if you sleep on your boat, what can be worse than an air conditioning revving up in the middle of the night, waking you up, and then revving down, and an hour later revving up. So I think that the quiet mode, I think you call it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great sort of user-centric part of design.
Oh, I wish you could sell it to hotels too. What about the research and development side of it? If you think about sustainability, the energy reduction that you have to dive in right now, and reducing environmental footprint.
Yep.
How much are you spending your time in that with your team?
And that's very interesting because we have, it's a new function in our company just a couple of years ago, is VAVE. Like, we always did it, but we now have put people in that role, and their big part of their thing is, of course, it's less parts, cost-effective, work well, but the biggest thing is designing for sustainability. Our toilet, as an example, 70% less material. We went from non-recyclable material to recyclable material. That's all done up front. And sadly, that's something we didn't do 20 years ago.
Yeah, in terms of speaking about design, Arjen, what you were describing before, they're really, well, the TU-minded, Delft-minded, I would say. Huh? To think about those questions beforehand, that's all in the package of design.
Yeah. And I think that's luckily it's beginning to sipe through every part of industry. That it's not just about the design of the product, but you really need to look at the life cycle. For instance, how is it manufactured? How is it maintained by somebody that might not be aware of the ins and outs, exactly the ins and outs of the product? How do you clean it? Suppose you have a large charter fleet. What does it mean for your charter fleet? So that's great.
I think it's also really nice of the jury to think that in such an expansion of all the questions that are there in the design. I mean, when you win, you really won something, right, gentlemen? So we've been talking about the great products that have won their categories in the DAME this year. Let's visit one of the most popular spots in Metstrade to see the field of more than 50 entries that were nominated. There you are, Ben. I'm happy to see you smiling still on day 3. You're checking out the highlighted entries. Which product seems to be getting the most interest this morning?
Yeah, I absolutely am. I'm back here on the DAME presentation stand. I might geek out a little bit, so a prior warning there for you. But I wanted to mention a few different products. So this is the Oscar 1. This is from the 2020 awards. And what's so special about this is it's using visual AI. It's a Sentry system to analyze the objects around you, identify other vessels and objects that might be in the water, and warn you about them before they become a problem. Now over here we've got the Remigo 1. Now it's back here, and what this is the world's first integrated electric outboard. And what the judges really liked about this was their focus on user experience. So it's lightweight, it's durable, and they make it really easy to use as well. So on the mount system, it's the same system we're all used to. So a fantastic product there. And then right next to it, we've got the Volvo Penta assisted docking system, which is this year's overall winner. And what was special about this is the dynamic positioning system, meaning that if there's wind and currents in the water, they will be automatically counted out, so you don't accidentally get blown into another boat or the dock, which would be a nightmare. So I've got another visitor as well. We've got Daniel from CZ, who has picked out this product as one of his favorites.
Hi. So basically, the Snubber Twist is a Finnish product that comes from the company, TM company, and it's a really simply an innovative product that basically you can attach on the anchor line, and it absorbs the shock from the line, that it protects your boat and also the dock itself. So I believe it's a really nice product, and they are the nominee of the DAM Awards, and I wish them the best of luck.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel. So I'll pass back to yourself, Pernilla, back in the studio, I believe for a conversation on life-saving equipment.
Definitely.
And I'll be back in a moment.
Yes, definitely, Ben. We'll see you soon again in a minute. Yeah, let's take a look at the winner of the DAME Life-Saving and Safety Equipment category.
ACR is pleased to introduce you to our next generation RescueLink View RLS personal locator beacon with return link service. Offering survivors vital reassurance in a life-threatening emergency, the RescueLink View RLS PLB is now equipped with return link alerting technology that provides a confirmation message back to the beacon from search and rescue that your signal and location has been received. This groundbreaking Rescue Link View RLS is the world's first PLB with the capability to provide the user with a clear confirmation message via the digital display screen. ACR Electronics is proud to bring the Return Link service technology to our customers with the newly approved Rescue Link View RLS, offering confirmation between 406 MHz beacon owner and search and rescue for the first time.
Yeah, great product. Congratulations to you also, Kris.
Thank you very much.
But something is missing. Something is missing, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Shall we change that?
Yeah,
Let's do that.
There's something to add to all of this.
You didn't expect this?
Wow. No, definitely not.
No, but I'll just pass on this side. I'll put it on here.
Thank you very much.
We can't shake hands. I really would like to do this,
Yes.
but this is your certificate, and congratulations on behalf of the Dame jury.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
great product.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, you were not there. You were not capable of being there Monday to
No.
receive that certificate. You have had that already,
Yes.
obviously. Now you're officially the
Yes,
category
I'll
winner.
sit very proudly next to it.
Yeah. So let's dive into this product because, of course, it must be, well, it's of course fantastic to call for rescue, but also to receive the confirmation that you've been heard. So what is it like for your company, your team, to develop so much technology in such a small pocket device?
Well, it's actually two words. It's true expertise and true dedication of making products that really could matter in the circumstances that you would like these products to work.
Yeah.
Not only that, but it's been already been mentioned before, is that it's not only us as designers or us as engineers or as product developers. But we at ACR already have for, I believe it's running up now for 20 years, is something we've called the Survivor Club. So people who have used our products are invited over to our factory, and they will get to see every technology behind that.
They will get wet testing it.
Well, no. That would be poor design. That would be poor design. No, they'll get a tour around the factory, and of course, next to that, they are great ambassadors for our products. But with the development of our new PLB, they've also been asked to put in their feedback on what we could improve.
Yeah.
And so if you would compare our product nowadays to, let's say, a product of 5 to 10 years ago, maybe in size itself, in total volume, it has not changed that much, but it's those minor things that make the difference with our product, and those minor differences have come from feedback and input from our Survivor Club.
Yeah, so you have been listening carefully.
Yes,
which is
that's the
key.
It's already been said, I believe, 2 times here on this
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
It's always remembering for who you are making these products.
Yeah. And to create the given thing, saying,
Exactly.
oh yes,
Exactly.
this is what it should be actually.
Yes.
But how do you test this unit by the end? How do you do that?
Well, as you already mentioned, would you need to get wet? No. Of course, there's just let's say a regular test functionality on the beacon. So whilst being high and dry, you can test the beacon. But testing the beacon for its functionality is one part. The other part that I would like to emphasize is that these products are used in most of the time, a life-threatening situation.
Yes.
So the testing purpose of the product is not only to, reassure yourself that the product is working, but also to get familiar and acquainted with the product itself. So I would urge everybody to just, do the test on the beacon.
Yeah.
See what's happening, because a test transmission on our PLB is a real-life test transmission. It will only be labeled with will be labeled with a test transmission.
Yes.
So, be assured that nothing will happen, but at least you know what the procedures are, how much time does things take.
Prepare yourself.
Yes, and especially on the side of how much time things take, you now get the feedback on the display of what the beacon is doing.
Yeah.
So in test situations or in, let's say non-life-threatening situations, whilst testing the beacon, you get the feedback of what's happening, and in life-threatening situations, you know what's happening with this new RLS technology.
Yeah, great that you also have thought of that testing journey that you will need to make, like with any safety journey.
Exactly.
When it's fire or anything. Arjen, I understand that the jury already once awarded such a product for your location.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this is of course a renewal. So in which way would you like to add as jury member to this product and say what made it so special for you?
Well, I think that the company really made an effort into looking what the user needs.
Yeah.
I mean, when I teach people sailing, I say there are three main things for a sailor to know. The first one is to stay on board.
Yeah.
The second one is to stay on board, and you can guess for the third one, right? But especially in the waters around Netherlands, if you fall overboard, especially in the spring or the autumn, the water is cold, so you're scared, right? Sailboats sail away with 5, 6, 7, 8 knots.
Yeah.
In a few minutes, you're just by yourself.
Yeah.
And I think one of the great aspects of this product, and that's why we awarded this, is that you get feedback that your signal is received and that you can expect to be rescued.
Yeah.
And I think that from a user perspective, this is great.
Definitely, it definitely is, yes. Let's return to Ben for a moment to see what else he has discovered at the Dame presentation. Hey, that looks good. Yes, also on safety.
Yeah, absolutely. I've found more. So this is the Nemo. I've been saving this one. It's by Spinlock. And what I love about this is all about getting the child facing upwards in the water should they fall in the water face down. There's a lot of product development in this that's been needed to really push that space forward. So that's the Nemo. And then here we've got the Rescue that we've been talking about. Just to give you an idea of size, I mean, that's my hand there. And it's smaller than that, so it's a miniature little device and a great product. Over here we've got the Genesee. Now this cleans marinas, so it's completely autonomous and it will go around the surface, removing the surface plastics and objects in the water, but also the surface oil on the surface. And one thing I love about this is along this side it says there is no planet B, just over there. And I think that's a great message to be championing to the industry. Now, if I move over here, we've got Mattia from Sea Vision, who's going to give us his thoughts on the Tow Pro. Mattia.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi. So, could you tell us a little bit about the Tow Pro?
Yeah, it looks like a really awesome product to tow your tender. So you get all the information, like the length, if there's like water inside, it bulges, and the GPS position, so it keeps it safe. So it looks pretty awesome. So yeah, I can imagine it solves a big problem for the super yacht owners.
It absolutely does. Thank you very much. And so that's all for this year from me here on the Dame presentation stand. I wish all the very best to the nominees, the category winners, and special mentions here we've seen this year. And all being well, I'll be back next year for another live reporter from the Dame stand. But for now, back to you, back in the studio.
Thank you, Ben. It was absolutely a privilege to have you here as our raving reporter. Next year we'll do that again, definitely.
Thank you.
And if you're here at the show, then do go along and have a look for yourself and pick up a copy of the Dame Jury Report, which explains more about the winning products. And if you watch this from elsewhere, please note that you can find these companies in Metstrade Connect and reach out to them virtually. And well, thanks of course for your congratulations that you have been given and the comments in the timeline. If you have any question, do send them in. We'll get them to our guests and to the Dame jury members to respond. Turning back to you, to our panel of today, what would you say would be the trends in, to shape marine equipment design in the coming 5 years?
The biggest one, again, as I mentioned earlier, is electrification and customer expectations.
Yeah, right.
I would say big data in general, and I think you can pull that towards, well, any of us as manufacturers into your own niche, so to speak. So the request for data also by our users, that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They all want to know everything that's happening around themselves.
Yeah.
As my colleague already mentioned, I mean, they want their boat to be like a BMW and a Mercedes nowadays, and that's a trend that you see evolving over time, and this will get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I already see ideas written on your faces. Yes. Arjen, what would you like to add?
There's little I can add. I think that especially we see many new boaters over the last years simply due to COVID. People easier buying a boat. And these people are not always used to boating, so they have different expectations. And That means that as a market, we should try to cater to this new audience, which is different. And the next one is, if you just look around in the Mets, the amount of electric propulsion is amazing.
Yeah.
If I compare it to 2 years ago, it's like an explosion of electric propulsion.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like is that we see some front runners, like Sailing Uma. I suppose you all know them, great YouTube channel. They have this full electric boat, and they're really trying to find a way to do everything electric. Now, one of the things, I'm really sort of seeing what's going to happen in marinas, especially in the small marina where I have with my boat, what will happen on a Sunday night when everybody has an electric boat and everybody returns on Sunday night after a good weekend with the fridge on and the airco on to the marina. What will happen with the marina's power supply? I'm curious to see what will happen.
Maybe next year a conversation also on big batteries for storage in marinas, right? Yeah.
Can I add one comment to his?
Yes.
Which to me is, what shall I say, your point about new boaters. So I feel my responsibility is to keep new boaters in the market. In North America, 35% of this craze of after COVID of people buying boats were first-time boaters. And if they have a bad experience, they're out. This is our industry. We got to keep it going. So it's our responsibility to make sure.
And to embrace the new generation of boaters.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for this lovely scene with you. That's it for the final edition of Dame Dynamics of 2021. All the best, of course, Arjen, with developing your work, and also thanks to you for doing the jury work, the big works that you all have done. Congratulations once again, of course, to our winners here, and thanks for joining us in the studio. And please be aware that the Dame competition for 2022 is open early next year at metstrade.com. So do return to this channel at 12:30 Amsterdam time when we have a tech talk on the boat as a workplace, a fascinating theme in this age of everyone moving away from offices. See you then.